Hello and welcome. In today's video, we're uncovering personal loan scams to avoid and the red flags you need to know to protect yourself. Personal loans can be a lifesaver when you need extra cash for an emergency, a big purchase, or debt consolidation. Unfortunately, scammers know this and are eager to take advantage. In fact, U.S. consumers lost over $12.5 billion to frauds and scams in 2024 alone. Some of those losses came from fake loan offers and loan fraud schemes, where criminals pose as legitimate lenders. Our goal is to make sure you don't become part of those statistics by equipping you with knowledge about loan fraud warning signs and how to spot loan scams before it's too late. Why does this matter? As more people shop for personal loans online, scammers are getting craftier. Separating the legitimate lenders from the fakes can be really hard, and the scammers get better every day at making their pitches look more convincing, warns John Brayo of the National Consumers League. In other words, even savvy consumers can be tricked if they aren't careful. Personal loan scams typically involve fraudulent individuals or companies pretending to offer loans. Their real intent is to steal your money, personal information, or both. Criminals sometimes even create fake loan companies or impersonate real lenders to cheat people out of cash or sensitive data. The results can be devastating. Not only do you lose money, but scammers might also use your personal details for identity theft, opening fraudulent accounts in your name. In this video, we'll cover everything you need to know: the most common personal loan scam tactics, real-world red flags to watch for, and actionable tips for safely applying for loans, whether online or offline. We'll also discuss what to do if you suspect a scam or if you've already been targeted, so you can minimize the damage. The tone will be informative and professional, but don't worry, we'll keep it clear and jargon-free so everyone can follow along. By the end, you'll be empowered to spot loan fraud warning signs easily and confidently avoid loan fraud when seeking a personal loan. So to recap our mission, personal loan scams are out there. They're getting more sophisticated, but you can outsmart them. It starts with awareness. Now, let's dive into the common personal loan scams making the rounds today and see how they operate. In this section, we'll break down the most common personal loan scams you should be aware of. Scammers use a variety of sneaky approaches. Knowing their favorite scam tactics will help you recognize a con artist before you get caught in their trap. Let's look at the typical schemes. Advance fee loan scams. This is one of the classic personal loan scams. You might receive a phone call, see an online ad, or even find a flyer on your doorstep, all promising easy loans. The catch? The lender says you must pay an upfront fee before you get the loan. They might call it a processing fee, insurance fee, or an initial deposit. Often they'll insist you pay by unusual methods like a wire transfer, money order, or even sending cash via courier. Once you pay that upfront fee, the scammer disappears, and no loan ever arrives. Remember, legitimate lenders do not charge hefty upfront fees before disbursing your loan. Origination fees, the real fees lenders charge, are usually deducted from the loan amount or included in your payments, not demanded in cash upfront. Advance fee scams prey on people who are desperate or have been denied loans elsewhere, so stay alert if anyone asks you to pay first for a loan. Guaranteed approval or no credit check. Scams. Bad credit? No problem. 100% guaranteed approval. If you see a pitch like this, alarm bells should ring. Scammers often advertise guaranteed personal loans with no credit check to lure in people with poor credit or those who think they can't get approved otherwise. A legitimate lender never guarantees approval without reviewing your financial information. Real lenders will at least check your credit history or verify your income. They need to ensure you can repay the loan. A promise of a loan with no questions asked is usually a ploy. These scams might ask for upfront fees or try to harvest your personal details under the guise of an easy application. Keep this red flag in mind. Any lender claiming everyone is approved or no credit needed is not to be trusted. Legitimate loans, especially personal loans, require some vetting of your creditworthiness. If someone guarantees you a loan, it's likely a scam intended to either steal your money or your identity. Debt consolidation and debt relief scams. Scammers know that people with a lot of debt are looking for relief. In a debt consolidation loan scam, a fraudster offers to clear your debts and combine everything into one easy loan. They may reach out to you unsolicited, claiming they can wipe out your credit card balances or loans. However, they'll say you must pay a fee first, perhaps a processing fee or an application fee. Once you pay, the scammer vanishes and your debts remain unpaid. A twist on this scam involves the crook telling you that your credit score is a bit too low, but not to worry. They offer to help improve your credit by paying off your debts, after you pay them a fee, often via a prepaid card. Of course, they never actually pay off anything after getting your money. Similarly, debt relief or loan forgiveness scams target people with student loans or other heavy debts. The scammer pretends they can eliminate or reduce your debt, but only if you pay a large upfront fee or buy a special insurance via a prepaid card. Tip: be extremely wary of any loan offer that requires cutting off contact with your current creditors or demands money upfront for debt help. Real debt consolidation loans disperse funds to you or directly to your creditors. You don't pay the lender upfront. And legitimate programs for things like student loan forgiveness won't cold call you asking for fees. Only the Department of Education and its partners handle actual federal loan forgiveness programs. So if someone promises to erase your debt for money, it's almost certainly a scam. Phishing scams and fake websites. Not all scammers ask for money outright. Some are after your personal information. Phishing loan scams usually start with an unsolicited email or text message. The message might say you're pre-approved for a loan or urge you to click a link to apply for a low-interest personal loan. These links often lead to fake loan websites that may look surprisingly professional. The goal is to trick you into entering sensitive data, like your name, address, social security number, bank account numbers, etc. Once you fill out the phony application, the scammers collect your info. They can use it to take out loans in your name, open credit cards, or otherwise commit identity theft. You end up with no loan and a big headache, possibly even debt that the scammer created under your identity. Red flags for these phishing attempts include poor spelling or grammar in the message, a sketchy or mismatched website URL, or urgent language like apply now or offer expires. Remember, legitimate lenders won't make you apply through a random link sent by text. If you get a text or email out of the blue that makes you think, how did they get my info? Don't trust it. It's best to delete suspicious messages and never click unknown links. Only apply for loans by visiting a lender's official website directly, by typing the address yourself or via a trusted source. Scammers have been known to create websites that mimic real lenders' sites, so be sure the web address is correct. If the site or message looks unprofessional or too salesy, that's a sign it could be a trap. Upfront payment via gift cards or prepaid cards. This scam is basically a variation of the advance fee scam, but it's common enough to highlight. Here, the scammer might actually approve you for a loan, fake of course, and then say you need to pay certain fees before the money can be released. The catch is they'll request the payment in gift cards, prepaid debit cards, or even cryptocurrency. For example, they might say, to process your $5,000 loan, please go buy a $200 Amazon gift card and give us the code for the fee. Or they'll claim you need to purchase loan insurance via a prepaid Visa card to protect the loan. This is a huge red flag. No legitimate lender asks for payment in gift cards, period. The Federal Trade Commission, FTC, makes it clear that any request for payment by gift card is a sure sign of a scam. Scammers like these methods because they're untraceable and irreversible. Once you give them the gift card numbers or send crypto, the money is gone. If a lender tells you to pay fees with gift cards, prepaid cards, or a crypto wallet, stop immediately. That's not how real loans work. Legitimate fees, if any, would be paid out of your loan proceeds or through normal billing, not bizarre payment methods. This scam often overlaps with others. A scammer could combine the guaranteed loan pitch with a demand for a gift card fee, for example. Always be on guard if anyone asks you to pay anything by gift card or similar methods. It's a common tactic not just in loan scams, but in many types of fraud. Verification and impersonation scams. These are more elaborate scams that often target people who have applied for a loan recently. Here's how it works. You apply for a personal loan online with a legitimate lender, which is normal. Soon after, you get a phone call or email from someone claiming to be from that lender, saying they need to verify some information or finalize the loan. They might ask for your online banking login and password, supposedly to deposit the loan funds, or ask you to verify personal details over the phone. Hey could even have some of your information already, like the amount you applied for or your address, which makes them sound legitimate. How do scammers know this? Unfortunately, stolen data is widely available due to data breaches, or the scammer might have malware that intercepts your application. Never give out your banking password or full login credentials to someone over the phone. A real lender will never ask for your online account password. They have secure methods for you to upload documents or verify accounts. For example, you might upload bank statements via a secure portal, but you wouldn't just tell someone your username and password. Another twist on this scam is the call to confirm ruse. The scammer contacts you, saying they need to confirm your identity or details from your loan application. They'll ask you to recite sensitive info, social security number, birth date, etc. A genuine lender typically verifies identity through safer means, like asking security questions on a secure website or sending a code to your phone. If you get a surprise call like this, tell the caller you will call them back, then hang up and directly contact the lender through an official phone number to see if the request was real. In most cases, you'll find out it was a scam. One more alarming tactic, the micro deposit or micro debit scam. Here, a scammer somehow gets partial access to your bank account. For instance, if you provided your account and routing number on a fake application. They deposit a small amount of money into your account that you didn't expect, say $50 labeled as a loan. Then they contact you, often posing as a collections agent or the lender, and demand you return the money, or they ask you to send it back via wire transfer. Later, they reverse the original deposit because it was fraudulent, and if you sent them money, you're out of pocket. Bottom line, if you see funds appear in your account that you didn't initiate, don't touch them and alert your bank. And be extremely cautious with anyone contacting you for verification after a loan application. Always double-check through official channels. Emerging tech scams, deepfakes, and more. Scam artists are always evolving their methods. A newer trend to be aware of is the use of AI-generated voices or videos, deepfakes, to impersonate trusted individuals. For example, in 2024, a fraudster used an AI deepfake video call to impersonate a company's CFO and managed to trick an employee into transferring money. While that instance was a corporate scam, you can imagine scammers using similar technology to pose as a bank officer or loan agent in a video chat, trying to convince you that a fake loan offer is real. They might spoof the appearance and voice of someone from a real company. It's scary stuff, but the lesson is the same. Always double-check the source. If you get a video call or voicemail that seems oddly urgent or off in any way, don't assume it's authentic just because you see a face or hear a friendly voice. Trust your gut. If something feels off, or the person is asking for unusual information, hang up and contact the lender through official means. While high-tech scams aren't yet as common as the other scams we've discussed, they could become more prevalent. Staying informed about these possibilities will help you stay one step ahead of the scammers. Now that we've covered several common personal loan scams and how they typically operate, you might be wondering, how can you spot these scams before you get tangled up? In the next section, we'll go over the red flags and warning signs that a loan offer is not what it seems. Many of these red flags cut across different scam types. If you spot even one or two of these signs, it's time to hit the brakes and investigate further, or just walk away. Let's get into the specific red flags to watch out for when shopping for a loan. Knowing the common scam scenarios is important, but it's just as crucial to recognize the general warning signs that can apply to any fraudulent loan offer. Think of these as the smoke signals that indicate something is wrong. If you notice any of these red flags during your loan search or application process, proceed with extreme caution, or better yet, not at all. Here are the key loan fraud warning signs and red flags. Unsolicited loan offers. Out of the blue contact. Be extremely wary if you receive a random call, text message, email, or social media message offering you a loan that you never asked about. Most reputable lenders do not cold call or cold text people with loan offers. In fact, telemarketers are not allowed to promise you a loan over the phone and ask for upfront payment. That's illegal. If you're scratching your head wondering how a lender got your contact info, that's a bad sign. Legitimate lenders typically wait for you to contact them or send very general advertisements, like a mailer that doesn't demand immediate action. So, if a loan offer falls into your lap via a direct message and you've never even interacted with the company, assume it's likely a scam. The safest move is to ignore or delete suspicious communications. As one expert puts it, if a message makes you wonder how the lender found you, don't trust it. Guaranteed approval. Promises. This is a big red flag and one of the most common warning signs of a scam. No legitimate lender can guarantee you'll be approved for a loan before they check your financial background. So if you see phrases like 100% approval, no credit check required, or a lender insists that bad credit is no problem at all, steer clear. Real lenders will always assess your ability to repay by looking at your credit score, income, debts, etc. A scammer, on the other hand, doesn't care about your finances. They only want your upfront fee or personal info. Bottom line, a promise of guaranteed approval is a major warning sign of a loan scam. It's often used to lure in people who are worried they won't qualify elsewhere. Requests for upfront fees or unusual payments. As we discussed earlier, scammers often ask for money upfront. If a supposed lender says you need to pay a fee before you get the loan, that's a red flag. This includes so-called processing fees, application fees, insurance fees, or the first month's payment paid in advance directly to them. Real lenders don't do that. Any fees they charge are usually deducted from the loan or clearly explained and paid as part of your monthly payments. Moreover, how they ask you to pay matters. If anyone asks you to pay via gift cards, prepaid debit cards, wire transfers, or cryptocurrency, it's almost certainly a scam. These methods are chosen by scammers because once you send the money, it's nearly impossible to recover. A legitimate bank or loan company will never say, "Go buy some gift cards and send me the codes." That's a sure sign of fraud. Pressure to act immediately. Urgency. Be cautious if a lender is pressuring you to apply or sign right now. Scammers don't want to give you time to think or do research. They might say things like, "This offer is for today only," or threaten that you'll miss out on a low interest rate if you don't act fast. High-pressure tactics are a red flag. Legitimate lenders do sometimes have limited time promotions, but they generally give you space to make an informed decision. If someone on the phone or email is aggressively pushing you and making you feel rushed or intimidated, step back. Never let anyone bully you into a financial decision. Scammers often create false urgency so you don't have time to realize something's off. Too good to be true terms. We all love a good deal, but be realistic. If a loan offer's terms are unusually favorable, for example, a much lower interest rate than anything else you've seen, A surprisingly large loan amount offered to you despite your credit, or generally sweetheart terms, you should be suspicious. Scammers dangle attractive terms to lure people who couldn't get such a deal elsewhere. Remember the old saying, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. As one financial expert noted, offers that seem amazing at first glance usually turn out to be scams in disguise. Legit lenders base loan terms on your credit and financial profile. They don't hand out huge loans at rock-bottom rates without any due diligence. So, if someone offers you a deal that's wildly better than the norm and asks for something odd in return, like an upfront fee, that's a glaring warning sign. Lack of physical address or contact information. Check the lender's contact info. Is there a legitimate physical address and working customer service number? Many scammers operate purely online and avoid giving out any real contact details. If you visit a website and can't find an address, phone number, or email for customer support, be wary. Sometimes fraudsters will list a fake address, maybe just a P.O. box or an address that, when you look it up, doesn't correspond to an actual business. Any reputable lender, even online-only ones, will have a real address and contact options, and they'll be responsive if you call. A missing or bogus address is a sign the company might vanish overnight. The same goes for unusual contact methods. If a lender insists you communicate only via encrypted chat apps or personal phone numbers, that's not normal. Legitimate institutions use official email domains, published phone lines, and standard communications, not WhatsApp or Telegram from a random agent. No state license or registration. In the United States, lenders must be registered in each state where they do business. If a lender reaches out to you but isn't licensed to make loans in your state, that's a law violation and a huge red flag. Often, scammers either don't mention licensing at all, or they might display a license number that is fake. Don't take it at face value. You can verify a lender's license by checking with your state's banking regulator or attorney general's office. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, CFPB, even provides a handy list of state regulators on its website. If you can't find the supposed lender in your state's database, or the info they give you doesn't check out, do not proceed. Unlicensed lenders are likely scams. Legit lenders will be transparent about where they operate and can prove their credentials easily. Suspicious or unsecure website. When dealing with an online lender, examine their website closely. Red flags include lots of spelling or grammar mistakes, generic stock photos, or a domain name that doesn't match the company's name exactly. For instance, a slight misspelling. A big one is if the site is not secure. If you don't see HTTPS at the beginning of the URL or the little padlock icon in your browser, do not enter personal info. An unsecured website means your data isn't protected, and real companies will always use encryption for anything involving personal financial info. Also, if navigation links on the site don't work or it feels amateurish, trust your instincts. Scammers can create look-alike websites that mimic those of real lenders, so you have to stay vigilant. Double-check the URL of any site where you're asked to input sensitive data, especially if you arrived there by clicking a link. It's often safer to type the lender's known web address yourself or use a bookmark you trust. Requests for sensitive info too early. Be cautious if during an initial conversation a lender immediately asks for highly sensitive information like your social security number, bank account numbers, or especially your online banking login password. Some information, like SSN, is eventually needed for a legitimate loan application to do a credit check, but a scam might ask for it very early or in a non-secure way, like over email or an unsecured form. And as mentioned, no real lender will ever need your personal bank login credentials to give you a loan. They might need documentation of your finances, but you'll usually upload documents through a secure portal. If someone is asking for data that doesn't feel proportional to the stage of the process, for example, you just inquired and they want your SSN and driver's license immediately, slow down. Make sure the request is coming from a legitimate source and not a scammer harvesting details. These red flags are your tools for how to spot loan scams in the wild. Sometimes a scam may not tick all the boxes, but even one or two warning signs are enough reason to pause and investigate further. Always listen to your instincts. If something feels off, or you catch a whiff of any of these warning signs, it's better to walk away or do more research. Next, let's talk about exactly that. How to vet a lender and safely apply so you can avoid these scams altogether. Knowledge is power. Now that you know the red flags, let's discuss concrete tips to avoid loan fraud when you're looking for a personal loan. Whether you're applying online or offline, these best practices will help keep you safe. Think of this as your checklist for safe borrowing. Follow these tips whenever you seek a loan. Do thorough research on the lender. Before you apply for a loan, or even if you're just considering an offer, research the lender's reputation. Look up their name online along with words like reviews or scam. Check if they have a profile on the Better Business Bureau, BBB, or see if any complaints have been filed with the CFPB's Consumer Complaint Database. A quick web search like XYZ loan scam can reveal if other people have had bad experiences. Also, visit the lender's official website directly, not through a provided link, and see if it looks professional and contains clear information about the company. Be wary of companies with very common or copycat names designed to confuse. Scammers sometimes choose names similar to reputable lenders. If you find a lot of negative reviews or warnings from other consumers, stay away. No amount of potential loan money is worth risking dealing with a sketchy company. Verify the lender's licensing and physical address. As mentioned earlier, make sure the lender is licensed to operate in your state. You can usually find a list of states a lender is licensed in on their official site, often in the footer or an About Us section. If it's not there, ask them directly or check with your state's financial regulatory agency. Additionally, confirm their physical address. You can plug the address into Google Maps or a search engine. Does it show an office building with the company's name, or is it pointing to a random house or empty lot? Verifying an address can help ensure the lender is a real entity. If something doesn't check out, say the address is bogus or they aren't licensed in your state, that's a deal breaker. Only do business with lenders who are properly registered and transparently operating. This significantly reduces the chance of encountering a fly-by-night scam operation. Never click strange links or download unexpected attachments. If you receive an email or text about a loan, don't click any link or download any file unless you absolutely trust the source. Instead of clicking a link to apply, go to the lender's website by typing the URL yourself. Scammers often send phishing links that lead to fake sites made to steal your info. Also, an email attachment claiming to be a loan application or approval letter could actually be malware. It's safer to navigate to the information through your own search or by calling the institution directly. When applying online, always ensure the site is secure. Remember the HTTPS and padlock. If you're applying in person or over the phone, make sure you initiated the contact with a known legitimate lender. You call them using a verified number, not the other way around. Protect your personal information. Be very deliberate about when and where you enter personal details. Your social security number, bank account numbers, passwords, and other sensitive data should only be provided through secure, trusted channels. If an online form asks for more info than you're comfortable with, pause and question it. Supply sensitive info only in a legitimate application process. For instance, on an official bank or credit union site, or a well-known lending platform you navigated to yourself. When in doubt, call the lender's official customer service line and verify what information is needed and how they protect it. Also, never share passwords or one-time verification codes with anyone. If a lender asks for your banking login or sends a code to your phone and asks you to read it back, stop. This is a trick to get into your accounts. Keep your devices and antivirus software up to date to protect against spyware that could steal information. And as a general rule, if an offer seems too good to be true, remember that it probably is. Don't let the excitement of a great loan offer make you drop your guard when it comes to privacy. Take your time. Don't rush into a loan. One advantage you have over scammers is the ability to slow down and think. Scammers rely on catching you in a moment of need or panic. So, even if you do need a loan urgently, try to compare a few options from well-known banks or lenders. Don't let anyone rush you into signing papers or committing on the spot. A real lender will give you the loan terms in writing and allow you to review them carefully. Feel free to ask questions about anything you don't understand. If the person on the other end gets impatient or can't clearly answer, that's a red flag. By taking a bit of extra time to vet the offer, you might save yourself from a scam or simply from a bad loan. Also, consider discussing the loan offer with a trusted friend or family member. A fresh set of eyes might catch something you overlooked. Use trusted loan sources. Whenever possible, start your loan search with reputable sources. For example, check with your bank or credit union first. Because you already have a relationship, those offers are more likely to be legit. If you use online lending marketplaces, stick to well-known ones that have verified reviews and secure processes. There are plenty of reputable online lenders, but also many imposters. You could also consult resources like lists of top-rated lenders on trustworthy financial websites. While we won't endorse specific companies in this video, doing homework via consumer finance sites like Bankrate, NerdWallet, LendEDU, etc., can give you leads on legitimate lenders and what rates terms to expect. Scammers often target people who feel they have limited options, like those with bad credit. If that's you, be especially careful. It might be better to consider alternatives, like a credit union loan or a co-signer, rather than risking an online ad that promises a miracle loan. Maintain good cyber hygiene. This is more about general prevention, but it's worth noting. Keep your online accounts secure to avoid giving scammers an easy in. Use strong, unique passwords for your financial accounts and consider using a password manager. Enable two-factor authentication on your email and banking logins, so even if someone knows your password, they can't easily get in without a second code. Scammers sometimes gain access to your data through hacking or malware, so having antivirus protection and avoiding public Wi-Fi for sensitive transactions can help. These steps reduce the risk that a scammer can hijack your loan process or steal information if you accidentally click a bad link. Trust, but verify any loan communications. If you've applied for a loan and then get contacted, it's okay to be a little skeptical. For example, if you get a call from XYZ Bank about your application, politely say you will call them back. Then call the official customer service number for XYZ Bank to see if the call was legit. Scammers can spoof phone numbers and emails to look like they're coming from a company. By independently verifying, you take away their power. Legit companies won't mind if you say, "I just want to double check and we'll call the main line." In fact, that's a practice security experts recommend. Always confirm you're actually dealing with the real lender at every step of the process. Following these tips will greatly reduce your risk of loan fraud. The key themes are research, verify, and don't rush. Now, despite all these precautions, let's acknowledge reality. Sometimes the worst still happens. If you do encounter a scam or even fall victim to one, it's important to know what steps to take next. In our final section, we'll cover exactly what to do if you've been scammed or suspect a scam attempt. Mistakes and bad luck can happen to anyone. If you realize, "I think that loan offer was a scam," or you've already sent money or personal info to a suspicious lender, don't panic. There are immediate actions you can take to protect yourself and possibly mitigate the damage. Here's a step-by-step guide on what to do if you've been scammed or targeted by a personal loan scam. Stop all communication with the scammer. The moment you suspect something is wrong, cut off contact. Don't answer further calls or emails from them. Scammers might try to keep stringing you along. They may promise you anything or threaten you when you start pulling back. Ignore it. Do not send any more money. If you haven't sent money yet but suspect a scam, now is the time to walk away. As a rule, once you sense a scam, disengage completely. Secure your personal information. If you shared any sensitive info, social security number, bank account details, passwords, etc., take steps to protect your identity and accounts. For example, if your SSN was given out, visit identitytheft.gov for guidance on protecting yourself. You might need to place a fraud alert or credit freeze with the credit bureaus to stop the scammer from opening new accounts in your name. If you gave out banking passwords or other account credentials, change those immediately. Check your bank and credit card accounts for any unauthorized activity. It's also wise to run an antivirus/malware scan on your devices if you clicked any suspicious links or downloaded files in case the scammer installed something. Report the scam to authorities. Reporting not only helps potentially catch the scammers, but it also creates a record that you were a victim, which can help in disputing fraudulent charges or accounts later. File a report with the Federal Trade Commission (FTC) at their fraud reporting site. You can also submit a complaint to the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau (CFPB) and your state's attorney general or financial regulator. If the scam involved impersonation of a real company, you might inform that company as well. They often have fraud departments tracking these issues. Additionally, consider reporting to local law enforcement, especially if you lost money. While not every scammer is caught, your report can contribute to investigations. There are also nonprofit groups like the National Consumers League's fraud.org, where you can report scams anonymously. The more agencies that know about the scam, the better the chances of shutting it down and potentially helping you and others. Try to get your money back. This step can be tough. There's no guarantee you'll recover lost funds, but it's worth trying. How you sent money matters. If you paid via debit or credit card, call your bank or card issuer immediately and explain the situation. They often have fraud protections that might refund your money or block the transaction. Time is critical here. The sooner you report a fraudulent charge, the better the odds. If you sent a wire transfer or bank transfer, contact your bank. They might be able to recall the transfer if it's very recent, though this is a long shot. Payments through apps, Venmo, Cash App, etc., or crypto are usually gone for good, but still report the incident to those platforms. If gift cards were used, contact the gift card's customer service. Sometimes, again, a long shot, they can invalidate the card if it hasn't been redeemed yet. Be prepared that recovering money from a scam is often difficult, but every attempt counts. Even if you only get a partial refund or none at all, reporting it ensures the scam is documented. Monitor your financial accounts and credit reports. In the aftermath, keep a close eye on all your accounts. Check your bank statements and credit card bills for any strange charges, and report them immediately if you see any. Since your personal info might be in the wrong hands, consider placing a fraud alert or a credit freeze with the 3 major credit bureaus: Experian, Equifax, TransUnion. A fraud alert is free and makes it harder for someone to open new credit in your name because lenders are supposed to verify with you first. A credit freeze locks down your credit file entirely. You'll have to lift the freeze temporarily if you want to apply for new credit yourself. Also, take advantage of free credit reports. By U.S. law, you can get a free credit report from each bureau annually via annualcreditreport.com. In fact, as of now, you can get them weekly for free. Check these reports for accounts you don't recognize, which could indicate identity theft. Ongoing vigilance will help you catch any misuse of your information early. Learn and adjust. Finally, use the experience as tough education. It's important to forgive yourself. Scammers are highly skilled at what they do, and they trick millions of smart people every year. If you fell for a scam, it doesn't mean you're foolish. It means the scammer was convincing. Take note of what red flags you missed and be extra cautious in the future. Sometimes discussing the experience with friends or family, or even in anonymous forums online, can help others avoid the same trap. you might discover you're not alone, and there's a community working to fight these scams. By taking these steps promptly, you can minimize the damage a scammer can do. The key is to act quickly and not be embarrassed to seek help. Authorities deal with these scams every day, and you won't be the first to report one. Now, let's wrap up with a quick conclusion and final thoughts on staying safe from personal loan scams. We hope this deep dive into personal loan scams, red flags, and avoidance tips has been informative and empowering. Let's quickly summarize the crucial points one more time. Personal loan scams are unfortunately common, but now you know what they look like. From advance fee scams where they ask for money up front, to guaranteed approval gimmicks, fake debt consolidation offers, and phishing websites that steal your data. We've highlighted the major red flags: unsolicited offers, guarantees, upfront payments, pressure tactics, overly good terms, lack of credentials, and so on, all of which are signals to back off and reassess. You've also learned how to spot loan scams by staying alert to these warning signs and how to avoid loan fraud by researching and verifying lenders, protecting your info, and taking your time with financial decisions. The big takeaway is that awareness and caution are your best defenses. Scammers can be very convincing, but they always leave clues if you know what to look for. If something feels off, remember the phrase, "If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is." Trust your instincts. It's better to miss out on a maybe legit offer than to fall for a definitely illegit one. Personal loans can be helpful financial tools, but only when obtained safely from reputable licensed lenders. By applying the tips we discussed, verifying licenses, using secure channels, and keeping an eye out for those red flags, you can confidently pursue a loan if you need one without falling victim to fraud. Thank you for joining us in this important discussion. Stay informed and stay safe out there. If you found this video helpful, feel free to give it a thumbs up and share it so others can learn about these loan fraud warning signs. We want everyone to know how to spot and avoid loan scams. For more educational content on personal finance and safety, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Take care, and see you in the next video.